High-quality beef doesn't have to come with a high price. High-Veet Angus Reserve. It's 100% natural, hand-selected, pure quality beef. The cuts are tender and the price is lean. We choose our beef knowing what will deliver the best flavor and most tenderness. So now, going out for a great steak can be as simple as going out to your grill. High-Veet Angus Reserve. Dinner out just became dinner in.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau's seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
Schottenkirk Ford Indianola's kickoff event. This month only. Take $16,000 off MSRP on every brand new 2019 Ford F-150 Crew Cab XLT 4x4 in stock. Plus, first responders receive an additional $1,000 bonus cash on new 2019 F-150 Super Duty, Expedition, and Ranger. New 2019 Fusion and Escape starting at just $18,999. Ford fans drive to Indianola to buy Fords. A kickoff event. Schottenkirk Ford Indianola. SchottenkirkFord.com.
Good evening and welcome to Waukee High School. It's another night of high school football on CISN.TV as the Waukee Warriors, as you see, they're coming in at 0-2, taking on Cedar Rapids Prairie, the 2-0, and Dar Danielson here alongside Laura Leonard, and one of these nice east-west matchups that they started doing. And I tell you what, we got the national anthem going on. Let's pause for that right now. There we have it, and apologize for that. I got my timing. It's just only the second game. I'm still trying to work things out. They make best improvement between the first and second game, right?
Well, absolutely. And, you always have to take a break for the national anthem, so well-timed in my opinion.
But as I was saying, this has become a good thing I think they've done, where you get to play some of these teams from the eastern side of the state. They come over and play here in the early going of the season, and it's not in district play yet, but it gets a chance to play against a little bit different competition.
Yeah, and I think it's a good measuring stick as well to find out how you're doing against other teams rather than the teams that are local to you or you're familiar with. You get a taste of what's going on the eastern side of the state or the western side of the state. And so, nice matchup. And who knows, somewhere down the road, you may match up against the team that you saw early in the season in the playoffs. Yeah,
and it used to be, you might only meet them in the Udi Dome if it came to that later on, but now you get a chance. And I know they've got some good things like the Little Hawk and Little Cyclone rivalry that's going on up there in Ames. Both those teams coming in without a win, but that they kind of regenerated that series here a few years ago too. So just some nice cross-state rivalry things that get going. Well, tonight a couple teams here. Prairie at 2-0, a big win to open up, and then they won by 6 in their second game against Pleasant Valley. And Waukee, it's a cliche, but you could say maybe they're the best 0-2 team in the state right now, losing 2 games by 7 points here against Dowling and then Southeast Polk.
Yeah, they've had a tough go of it to start the season, and it doesn't get any easier for them. They've got a tough game tonight and a tough one next week as well. And you're right, they might be the best 0-2 team. They've got all the talent in the world. They've got a good quarterback. They've got a nice mix of run and pass. Defense is very good. They had that game won against Southeast Polk. Late in the game, Southeast Polk was able to come back. Waukee gave themselves a chance late, had to kick a long field goal to tie it up, missed that. came away with the loss. But they've got all the pieces. They just need to put everything together.
And I think those are sometimes more frustrating when there's one play that could have turned it into a win than the one where you get beat by 3 touchdowns, because then it's over and done, and it wasn't going to be one thing that somebody, because everybody on the team could think, well, if there was just one more play I made in those first 2 games, maybe it would have went the other way.
Right, and that's, a loss is a loss.
Yeah.
And so you can qualify it any way you want, but you're right. I mean, some of those sting a little bit worse than the others, and to be able to work your way back, get down in that game, put yourself in that position, tough field goal, very long field goal to have to try to tie it, but you gave yourself a chance.
Well, we talked about it, Prairie. They beat Wash 56-7, and then Pleasant Valley 13-7, and got a chance to talk a little bit with their coach, Mark Bliss. He's in his 5th year there. He came from Oklahoma and kind of built them back up a little bit, got them back going in the right direction, but he was a little disappointed in that last game against Pleasant Valley, because he told me they had like 4 times in the red zone where they didn't convert, and he said that's one of the keys they have to do here tonight.
Yeah, and that's frustrating, to be able to drive the field, get yourself into scoring position, and not be able to punch it in. And that's tough. That's deflating to an offense. That's deflating to a defense as well. And if you can get in there, get in the red zone, and finish off drives, that's going to be huge for the morale of this team and the momentum of this ball game.
And they graduated Keegan Simmons, who'd been outstanding back for them, going for 3,800 yards in 2 seasons. But they filled that role with 2 backs now, Nick Pearson and Tariq Amir. So they've kind of found a couple guys in the backfield to hand the ball to.
Well, and that's nice. A kind of a 2-headed monster, and tough to defend against and tough to scout against when you have 2 running backs that potentially have breakout speed. And so when you have 2 players that you can go to at different times, different styles, it's going to make you tough in the backfield. And they rely on those 2 quite a bit.
So for Waukee tonight, what do they got to do to come out and turn the tide in this one?
I think Waukee's got to come out right away, and they have got to score the first time that they get the football. They have got to. Now, last week we saw back-to-back.
They did, but yeah.
We saw back-to-back kickoff returns, one by Southeast Polk, one by Waukee. But I think the first time on offense, when you get a set of downs, you've got to be consistent, and you have got to march the ball down the field and score right away. Put the pressure on Prairie.
One thing, too, they have not created a turnover, and they've had, I think, 4 on offense. So they're -4 in the turnover, and in close games, that's one of the big stats that's gonna turn the tide for you, isn't it?
Yeah, and you have to create some opportunities for yourself. And when you're giving the ball up to the opponent, and some of them will be capitalized on, and it was last week that the Rams were able to capitalize on some of those turnovers. But you have to defensively be able to create some turnovers, get the ball back in the hands of the offense, which can be very potent.
We saw last week Mitch Randall kind of came out, didn't run a lot in the first half, but he ran a little more in the second half. I don't know if you flip that over and try to get him going a little earlier running. I know you want to get the passing, get everybody involved, but it might be better just to get him running a little bit early and loosen up the defense, you think?
I do. I think that he is so good when he has the ball in his hands, and he can run through tackles, he can avoid tacklers, and he just does a great job when he gets out in the open field. Even when he gets contact, he's able to bounce off of it and continue those legs driving. And so I think if you get the ball in his hands, let him move, let him work the middle of the field, let him try to find those gaps and see if they can get him out and running a little bit, and then sprinkle in the passing game.
One thing there's no denying, another beautiful night here for football in Waukee. You saw a few shots of the band lining up out there. They're getting ready to bring the big helmet across the field and lead the players in, and just can't ask for anything better in the weather-wise. And we're just about ready to get this thing kicked off and to see if Waukee can get the first win of the season here. But we'll take a break. We'll come back with more on the pregame show and the kickoff after this on CISN.TV.
You don't have to go to Hy-Vee Market Grill to get Hy-Vee Market Grill. Now get Hy-Vee Market Grill delivered. Choose from the best burgers in town, delicious steaks, seafood, appetizers. There's nothing mini about the Hy-Vee Market Grill menu, and it's all delivered to your door. Save time and save the day, or at least dinner. Just order on the Hy-Vee Market Grill app. Hy-Vee Market Grill. We deliver.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Back here live in Waukee, the Waukee Warriors coming out and getting set for kickoff, hosting Cedar Rapids Prairie here. Waukee at 0-2, Prairie at 2-0. 73 and sunny out there, and doesn't look calm night out. Not a lot of wind out there in the field, Laura.
No, I thought earlier today that the wind was going to play a factor in this ball game because it was pretty windy throughout most of the day, but it has calmed down, and that will make a difference in this ball game if either of these teams decide to put it in the air.
And I'm glad to see no rain for a chance.
Yeah.
For a change, rather. We've seen a lot of that this week here. I think I had 2 inches Monday, and the other night 1.2. So, but a clear night tonight, and then there's some kind of game going on up at Ames too tomorrow, which should be pretty good weather up there. But that's the fun part I like in the years I've been doing this, to see some of these kids that go on and play in that game or play at college or anywhere. You know, it's just kind of fun. We get to see them out here as preps, and then they move on and represent. That's all. Waukee Warrior playing for UNI in the backfield there, and then you see Hawkeyes have had players and Cyclones from all across Central Iowa.
Well, it is a lot of fun, and it makes it a little more interesting to watch those games if you've seen some of these kids play at the high school level, or they're from your high school or your kid's high school or whatever it might be. You feel attached to them and a part of that, and so it's just kind of nice to be able to follow these athletes and their career as they move on, whether they play football or they might be a multi-sport athlete. They might go on and play basketball or run track or whatever it might be.
I think I saw Prairie deferred here on the toss. We'll see, which means I think
it looks
Waukee
like Waukee has the kicking tee in hand, and that Cade Jaden.
Well, maybe I misread it. Maybe Waukee deferred, so they elected to take the ball. We'll see here, but yeah. I can't talk and watch what the referees are doing at the same time here, but
it's
again,
hard.
we talked about it. Good for Waukee to come out and get a drive under their belt, maybe get a score, and then play ahead here to start this ball game.
And that's, I think, 2 close losses coming into this one. They had Dowling Catholic on the ropes in that opening game of the season, and then it was a back and forth game against Southeast Polk, and they ended up losing that one by 3. So you've got to put those 2 games behind you. Know that they were hard fought. You did the best that you could, but you definitely want to jump out in front in this one. And if you can, put your foot on the gas pedal and keep going and try to lay it on heavy if you can.
Colton Forsland back deep to receive for Cedar Rapids Prairie, along with Tariq Amir back there to receive the kick from Cade Jaden. He tried, a 49-yarder? He tried, and he hit it a little off, but he had to kick it hard, and he felt, I know he was down on himself, but like we said, it wasn't just that one play. They had to really work to get into position with time running out. But Waukee in the purple jerseys here tonight. Black pants will kick off to Prairie in the white. You see them there with a little bit of the orange on there. The Prairie Hawks as we get set for football. And this one is going to go out of bounds.
Opening kickoff goes out of bounds.
Well, and right away, Prairie's going to get good starting field position.
Yep.
By rule, the ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First and 10.
And that's, for K. Jaden, that's unusual. I haven't seen that a lot out of him.
No, he usually kicks it right down the middle and usually a touchback.
So offensively, we'll see Hunter Wilson out there. Tariq Amir is one of the running backs. Also in there is Clayton Scott as they shift. That's Amir lining up here on the right side. Hand off to Amir on the comeback inside handoff. He stiff arms a man and gets up and gets some yardage out of that. Looked like they might have had him stop in the backfield, but good job of running there.
Yeah, it looked like they were going to get him for about a 4 or 5 yard loss, but the stiff arm able to hold off the defender and able to turn the corner and make something out of nothing.
6 yards to go.
Oh, Nick Pearson also in there. This time they same kind of formation. And fakes to Pearson. Throw down Amir across the middle, bobbles it. Picked off! Picked off at the 40. Back the other way with it. Waukee is Joe Morrison. Picks it off at the 40. There's that turnover we talked about, Laura.
When that happened, that's what I was thinking. You had mentioned that they have not created any turnovers, and they did right there. Nice setup for Prairie as they got
Amir running wide open.
Wide open in the middle of the field. It hits him in the hands and pops up right into Morrison's hands, and he makes a nice return out of it.
So Waukee now 1st and 10 at the 36 after the interception. And pass out into the flat to Sadat. And Sadat.
Quarterback Mitch Ryan's pass is complete to the tight end, Eddie Sadat Jr.
So they come out throwing.
Yep.
We thought they might come out running, but they come out, fake the handoff, a little dump over the middle to Sadat, and he's able to get about 4 yards out of it.
2nd and 6.
So they'll bring Sam Odell wide to the left along with Jalen Martinez. Mitch Randall with slot back going across the formation is Lindquist. Hands it off deep.
Running back number 5 Aaron
to Smith.
On the carry.
Flag on the play as well.
Stopped by number 22, Ashton Stoner DeGroot.
And let's see what the call is there. Davis Fairchild on the stop. That'll go against Prairie.
Illegal use of the hands.
Illegal use of the hands.
Defense.
So he picked up
It's a big
4
one.
on the run. And the penalty will be 15.
Result of the penalty, the ball is marked right around the 18-yard line.
So 1st and 10 at the 18 for Waukee. And rolling, Randall looks, throws across, low, caught though. Martinez goes down and gets it. If you had that ball a little higher, he's into the end zone on touch for a touchdown, but.
Well, it's a tough throw for Randall as he rolls out to his left, and he's having to throw across his body. So he got enough on that throw, and it looks like there's a flag on this play.
Oh, ineligible receiver.
Illegal man downfield against the offense.
So that'll be 10 yards.
5-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. It'll be 1st and 15 for the Warriors.
So 1st and 15 back now at the, 24? For Waukee, Mitch Randall. Hands off to, no, keeps it. How do you hand it to Lindquist? He keeps it. Spins back inside the 15, down to the 14.
That's what we were talking about. He's so hard to bring down, and he does a great job of pulling the ball out at the last minute and taking it the other way, where all the defense had flowed to the right side of the field. He takes it back left and is able to pick up good yardage.
So that'll bring up 2nd and 5 at the 14 for Waukee. Randall in there, Lindquist, and gives it to Lindquist. This time he's got room all the way. Touchdown, Waukee! Wow, path just opened up right up the middle for a 14-yard touchdown run.
It looked like they tried to come off the corners to put a little extra pressure on defensively, and that opened up things, and you said it, an alleyway just opened up right up the middle, and he goes in untouched.
Number 3, Kate Jaden, in to attempt the extra point.
Kate Jaden in. Snap, and the flag comes down before they get it off.
It's like motion.
Illegal procedure against Waukee.
So they'll move it back. That shouldn't be too much of a problem for Jaden.
Retry the PAT.
He just moves it back a bit
now,
there.
Remember, last week we had a mishandled snap.
Yeah,
and
well, that was a key, too, that hurt him in that game when they were trying to keep up the score. He's 5 of 5 of PATs on the season. There's a good snap, a good kick, and that makes it 7-0 Waukee. Here, we'll take a break, come back with the kickoff after this on CISN.TV.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me. Because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, x-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules, they're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
And we're ready for the kickoff. Waukee scoring an interception. And they take it 36 yards on 5 plays. Here's the kickoff coming down to Forsland at about the 4, up to the 15, 20. Oh, and he gets hammered down. Wow. Just driven backwards by, is that Felker?
Tackle made by number 41, Cole.
No, it was
Spikesma.
Spikesma. Okay.
Wow.
That took my breath away. That hit was so hard.
He was just looking for a little seam. He had his head down. He was running up the back of one of his teammates, and when he thought he had some daylight, all of a sudden he didn't.
So Prairie takes over in their second drive. Little handoff up the middle, and still pushing forward is Pearson.
Snap directly to Nicholas Pearson, number 43 on the run.
Little wildcat. They went right direct snap to Pearson.
Number 76, Karsten Lappy. Aaron Smith assisting. Gain of 4, 2nd and 6.
So pick up a 4, 2nd and 6 at the 29. And this time, handoff again. He finds a seam outside, cuts it back across the 40, up for a first down is Pearson.
That's twice they've gone direct snap to Pearson, and he's been able to find some running room. They started out in this tight formation when they line up, and then they break out of that. But Pearson's in the backfield again. We'll see if they go direct snap to him here, third play in a row.
He's number 43, and then they put Tariq Amir, the other back, here on the side, along with Clayton Scott. They're two bunched to the right here. Williams is the quarterback. But now procedure called on Prairie.
Procedure against Prairie. 5-yard penalty. It'll be first and 15 from the 37.
No, Pearson on the year coming into this ball game, averaging right at around 14 yards per carry, and they use him in this way in that direct snap wildcat formation and allow him to try to find room on the field to run.
This time Williams takes it, hands off inside to Amir. He almost got outside but pulled down. Good job by Joe Morrison.
Yeah, Morrison saved.
Yeah.
I mean, really, because
if he gets by him outside, there's a lot of green over there.
Yeah, and that would have gone for a long way, if not all the way.
Gain of 1, 2nd and 14.
2nd and 14.
Wholesale changes here on the defense for Waukee.
I think they're putting in a little bit of the passing defense here. We haven't seen a pass yet out of Hunter Williams. He rolls right, throws, has a man out in the flat, and he's quickly brought down out there by
Johnny Jones out there.
Simon Lofsgaard with the tackle of Jones.
Would have liked to have picked up a little bit more to make this third down a little bit more manageable for them, but expect them to roll out and maybe throw another pass.
3rd and 11 at the 41. Williams fakes it. Now he'll take it himself, looking for room, but nothing there. He's stacked up and he'll lose a yard against that defense. Caleb Paulus, Karsten Lappy, Connor Arndt, and Kel Thorson in the middle for the purple.
Assisting number 28, 4th down.
Brings out Sam Braciak to punt.
Punt formation for the Hawks, number 23, Samuel Braciak. Joe Morrison, number 21, deep to receive for the Warriors.
Braciak is how they say it goes. The coaches, he's punting 36-yard average and a long of 38. And this one, he gets it off. A good punt. It bounces, and Morrison looking at it back there and decides to let it roll.
The punt is down.
And Waukee will take over for their second possession at the 21.
Well, before things get started, we're going to see that big hit on the kickoff that started the drive here for Prairie. And Cole Spikesma comes in and is able.
Yep, you see him, he's taking it up the sideline, and all of a sudden just, whoa, wow.
Textbook tackling right there.
Yeah.
Quarterback Mitch Randall, number 4 on the carry.
And Randall carries it up the middle for a couple.
Moses Each, number 42, led the stop. Nick Friel assisting, number 15, the captain. Gain of 4, 2nd and 6.
Randall with Lindquist back there, sends trips to the right now, and one receiver to the bottom. That's Odell. Fakes the handoff, now spins around, looking for Odell. Odell coming back to it. Nicely run route and good execution on that, Laura.
That was very good execution. Fake the handoff, pull it out. Just a little rollout the other way, and on a line is able to hit Odell.
Odell, kind of his favorite receiver. He caught the touchdown and then the 2-point conversion that allowed them to even have a chance to come back against Southeast Polk last week. Here's a handoff, Lindquist right up the middle. He rolls up across the 45 to the 47, where he's stacked up after a pretty good gain on first down.
Waukee's now starting to mix things up a little bit with the run and the pass.
Assisted by number 50, Skylar Paulson. Gain of 5,
So they're going to bring Sadat and Odell to this side. And Aaron Smith is in there with Lindquist. Taking a long time to get the play in here. And now they got to call a timeout as the clock was down to 14. And in high school, it's a little harder to get up and get that play going. But so they take a timeout. Let's take a quick break. We'll do that and be back after this on CISN.TV.
You don't have to go to Hy-Vee Market Grill to get Hy-Vee Market Grill. Now get Hy-Vee Market Grill delivered. Choose from the best burgers in town, delicious steaks, seafood, appetizers. There's nothing mini about the Hy-Vee Market Grill menu, and it's all delivered to your door. Save time and save the day, or at least dinner. Just order on the Hy-Vee Market Grill app. Hy-Vee Market Grill, we deliver delicious.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
2nd and 5 for Waukee at the 47-yard line. Their second drive. They send Smith in motion. Snap gets by Randall. Now he'll try to get out of it. He does. Sidesteps everybody. Puts it under his arm and runs up the field and gets the first down.
How in the heck do you do that? You know, a lot of players might just fall on that ball.
Just fall on it, yeah.
And he picked it up. He had 3 defenders around him. He was able to sidestep and get through a seam.
How many times did we see that last week where he sidesteps those defenders? He's got that
great footwork.
The old do-si-do and square dancing, I guess. So it's a 1st and 10 at the 43 for Waukee as he keeps the drive alive. Mitch Randall now. The single back there. Lindquist hands it off to him. Lindquist tucks it, runs right over to the left side, and will be pulled down.
I think you call that escapability.
Yeah.
That's what he has. I mean, he just is. He's so quick on his feet and able to elude defenders and turns a huge loss into a first down and keeps this drive alive.
Schwarzenjuber with the tackle on that one. 2nd and 9. And now Randall rolls right. Hard rush on him and throws it out, has a man, and he just sits down at the 30 to Martinez.
These wide receivers are doing a good job of finding the opening in front of the defenders, getting open, calling for the ball, and then just sitting down in that spot, and Randall is finding them.
Well, this time, they'll send 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Lindquist with him in the backfield, and then defender jumps offside, trying to get a little jump on it over there. And just a little early jump by Davis Fairchild, I think. And he knew it immediately when he jumped, and he tried to kind of sneak back, but the official right there in the line saw it.
5-yard penalty, still first down, 5 yards to go.
So
well, you're giving Waukee a lot of opportunities here in the first quarter with penalties, the turnover, and Waukee took advantage of the first turnover. See if they can take advantage of the penalty.
Low snap, and he gets hit hard and knocked down on the blitz. Schwarzenjuber in there.
Just came out of nowhere, had his sights set on Randall, and was able to nail him.
Loss of 7,
and that
2nd and 12.
Sack for a loss of 7. And Randall hands off Lindquist, and he quickly gets it all back. Almost broke through, but plows ahead. Good power running, and takes it all the way down to the 12-yard line.
A little counter. If they start going one way, hand back, hand off, and the run goes the other way. A nice move right up the gut. And a first down.
So 1st and 10 at the 15. 9th play of this drive. They started at their 20. Or 21. Randall rolls to the left. He's going to keep it himself the whole way, and there's a flag down
Mitch Randall on the carry.
in the backfield. There might be
Jones, number 4, penalty on the
A lot of penalties here in the
Yeah.
first quarter on both teams.
Yeah. Probably an illegal block, I'm thinking. As he was trying to come around the edge there.
Well, Waukee's starting to walk
move back,
backwards.
Yeah, block in the back on Waukee.
back against Waukee.
So they'll
The result of the penalty, the ball's marked at the 25-yard line,
move it back to the 25.
where it'll be first and 26.
First and 10 at the 26. So they go from first and 10 at the 15. First and 10 at 26. Randall rolls. Pressure again. Throws it as he's hit. And the defender back there didn't quite see what was going on. Otherwise, he might have had a chance to turn around and pick that off.
Yeah, I don't think he could locate it quick enough. And as Randall threw, one of the defenders chasing him got a hand on the shoulder, and a little bit of a lame duck thrown out there, but no harm.
Yeah, Chance Brammer was watching the defender, and they got Randall around the shoulder pads, and he couldn't get the full arm release into it. So second down here. They send Odell in motion across the formation. Randall rolling. Blitz again. He sidesteps it. Now he'll run, and this time he's unable to get by the defender, Nick Friel.
Tries to scramble for yardage.
So getting a little pressure on Randall and making him having to make some decisions way back in the backfield.
Yeah, they are getting the last 3 or 4 downs. They've been able to get into the backfield and disrupt some things.
So that'll bring up a third and long.
3rd and 24 for the Warriors.
At the
And the Hawks 28.
28-yard line. Sadat in there. He'll go in the tight end on the right side. Lindquist in the backfield. Odell comes in motion left to right. Martinez is wide to the right. And Randall rolls right. Throws it out there. Has Odell picked off. What a play by the defender. Picks it off back about the 3-yard line. Brody Jones.
Brody Jones for the Hawks.
Read it perfectly, and now we have a flag.
Tackled by Jalen Martinez, number 14, and Eddie Sadat Jr.
But a very athletic move. Just jumps the route. Brody Jones able to step in front and pick that off and get a little bit of a return out of it.
And it looked like it was going to Odell for a touchdown there,
Yeah.
but Jones made a great play. We got Johnny Jones and Brody Jones, their cousins, playing out there for Prairie. And let's see the play here again. You see the pass coming over, and Jones makes the play on it. And that is brought down quickly, but
Personal foul against Waukee.
and then there was a personal foul.
Result of the penalty.
Looked like there's a little bit of double coverage over there as well.
Yeah.
Prairie 28.
Well, he'd be the one I'd double cover after last
Yeah,
week.
no
Odell.
kidding, no kidding.
So
You have a lot of my attention if I were the coach.
Cedar Rapids Prairie now with it. They hand it off up the middle there to Pearson.
To the running back, Nicholas
A lot of
Pearson,
misdirection with this Prairie offense. A lot of moving parts, and that time really didn't get any kind of a gain out of it.
36 made the stop.
So Prairie stops the threat there on the turnover.
2nd and 10.
And it'll be 2nd and 10. Hunter Williams. Oh, they go straight to Pearson this time. A low snap, and he's just bowled over.
Pearson, number 43.
He had no chance at all, so turnabout's fair play. Waukee says, we'll turn up the pressure a
Yeah.
little bit.
Well, I think both teams have had a little bit of trouble with that long snap, low snaps, and not allowing whoever it's going to, the quarterback, the running back, an opportunity to get those feet moving and get a full head of steam to try to hit the hole in the line.
This is 3rd and 17. And they come out now with the 2 receivers each side, a passing formation here for Hunter Williams. He drops straight back, looks, now he'll try to go up the middle and it'll be ripped down there by Colton Staub, I believe.
Number 59.
Or was it?
Cale Thorson.
Oh, Cale Thorson.
Looked like for a second that he was going to have a little bit of an opening to get through and maybe run for the first down, but Thorson right there wraps him up.
And that'll be the last play of the first quarter, so Waukee leading 7-0 here after scoring on their opening drive. We'll take a break. Be back with the second quarter after this on CISN.TV.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau's seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
Schottenkirk Ford Indianola's kickoff event this month only. Take $16,000 off.
Maybe I missed that on my.
Every brand new 2019 Ford F-150 Crew Cab XLT 4x4 in.
Every month or so, there's another story in the media about when and how often we need to get our mammograms. Kind of confusing. When this happens, I like to consult with experts. So I called Iowa Radiology. They recommend women get an annual mammogram starting at age 40. They know that it's the best way to detect cancers early and save lives. And that's good enough for me. Visit iowaradiology.com.
Morrison lets it bounce, picks it up, and now he's knocked down. Didn't gain anything much out of that.
There were 5 players back there, and he broke about 10 or 15 tackles between those 5 players. All had a hand on him. He just kept moving and zigging and zagging.
But he didn't gain anything.
But he didn't gain anything, yeah. And they finally were able to get him down.
He had no yards after contact was the only problem there. So Waukee will take over here early in the second quarter, 1st and 10 at their own 36. Mitch Randall throws it out to Lindquist. He cuts back inside and is dropped after a good pickup.
Catches that pass from quarterback Mitch Randall. Tackle made by Clayton Scott, number 35 for the Hawks.
And he'll bring him up.
After the gain of 3.
Randall hands it off, and wow, met right in the middle there.
Alex Lindquist, number 26.
Clayton Scott filled the hole quickly.
This defense has made some nice adjustments from the early drive. They're shooting the gaps. They're getting into the backfield.
And they're containing Randall, kind of, aren't they? They aren't letting him. So 3rd and long here. 3rd and 8 at the 38 for Waukee. There's a flag down again. They get it to Sadat. Sadat will be short of the first down. So we'll see what they do. If it's against Waukee, they may decline it. We'll see.
Well, and if they do, might be the first decision of the ballgame. Do you gamble?
Do you gamble here? It'd be about a 4th and what, 2, 3?
Yeah.
Well, they're going to bring it back, though, I think.
Well, that would make it 3rd and 13, is that?
Yep. And that's the 3rd straight penalty against Waukee here. Prairie's had 3 penalties, Waukee 4. It's not been a
clean game.
No, not early on here. 3rd and 13 at the 33 for Mitch Randall and the Warriors. Handoff back the other way to Lindquist. He's got a lane and a blocker over there. Gets across for the first down. Across the 50 into Prairie territory. And again, a little misdirection, and that time Lindquist followed his blocker perfectly.
Right, they ran that earlier in the ballgame. We saw them run it a couple of times last week to perfection, and it is almost a counter where they just go, everything flows to one side of the field, and then they hand the ball off, and it goes the opposite way.
The 1st and 10 at the 46 into Prairie territory. Waukee leading 7-0 here in the second quarter. Hand off inside, and coming up is Smith. And he gets a big chunky yardage on first down. Tackle by Schwartzendruber. And now you got a 2nd and short, and that brings you have all kinds of plays you can run here.
Yeah, you can take a shot here. You could do multiple things.
Got the twin backs in there now with Smith and Lindquist. And they fake it to both and then give it back to Smith. He cuts up the middle, breaks it outside, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Warriors!
They fake the handoff on the inside to Lindquist, and then they give it to Smith on the outside. He cuts it right up the middle and then outruns everybody.
Just, again, as you said, that counter action one way and then back over to Smith the other way. And good blocking up front.
And then the speed. Boy, he showed some speed.
Yeah. Well, he kind of turned on the jets, but he knew there was nobody around and kind of easily cruised in then as Cade Jaden comes out for the extra point. And the kick is blocked, but I think there was a jump. There's a flag down. I think we're going to have offside. Or is it motion?
That might be motion. Second time that's happened to Waukee. That is the call on the point after.
Yep, procedure on Waukee.
Legal procedure against Waukee. Five-yard penalty. Retry the point after.
So that's the second penalty here in this quarter. And Jaden will set up, now makes it a 25-yard kick. And this one is up and through. And that makes it 14-0 here. Waukee will take a break, come back with a kickoff after this on CISN.TV.
Hey fans, in addition to that, straight car key.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game, Shields.
Back here at Waukee, the Warriors have scored after a punt, a 64-yard drive. And 38-yard run by Aaron Smith makes it 14-0 with 2 PATs by Jaden. And Prairie set to receive. Coming back to Forsland at the 7. He runs out to left, 25 round. There's a flag down, and he's knocked out at the 30. That's going to come back.
Well, we mentioned it before, a lot of penalties in this ball game for both teams. And where was going to be decent starting position for Prairie now is probably going to be backed up.
It's now, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 penalties on Prairie. 5 on Waukee here in the first half. And by the third game, sometimes you think you've got that worked out, but it's...
Well, you would hope that you have it worked out.
Yeah, you'd think so, but So they'll take over 1st and 10 at the 15 for Prairie. Williams in there. And fakes it. Has a big tight end coming across. Is Gabriel Burkle.
Nice fake. And then a pass right over the middle. Burkle wide open.
6'7", 230-pound sophomore.
It's a big target.
Big target, and he gets the first down. And there's the inside handoff to Amir, and he gets stopped behind the line of scrimmage before he can turn the corner. Spikes one of them in there, as is Thorson. So it brings up 2nd and 11 at the 33.
They bring Amir off the corner on the sweep, but the defensive Waukee strings it out and able to drop him for a yard loss.
Prairie really needs to get something going on this drive, Laura. Down by 2 scores.
Need to get vertical.
Throw it outside, and that time dropped by the tight end.
Pass is incomplete, intended for Gabriel Burkle.
And I think they've been so successful running in the first couple of games, they haven't passed a whole lot here. Williams is like
coming into the ball game
21,
only 21 attempts.
Yeah, only 21 passes because they've, you've had Pearson rush for nearly 400 yards and Amir almost 200. So.
Yeah, and when you're able to do it on the ground and nobody's stopping you, continue with that game plan.
Continue it, but you don't get to work on those routes and that passing timing that much. So here's Hunter Williams, 3rd and 11 at the 33. Fakes the inside handoff. Looks deep, but he can't get out of it. He'll be pulled down back there.
He looked to try to escape out of that, but the pocket was closing in all around him, and he just had to go to the ground.
Carter Linz back there for the sack, and the big loss. 11-yard loss on the sack.
4th down, Hawks.
And brings up 4th and 20. Breaksiak into punt.
Deep to receive, number 21.
Morrison back to receive. Good deep punt. Morrison calls for the fair catch at the 40.
Fair catch, Joe Morrison for the Warriors, right around the 40.
Now again, good starting position for Waukee and another opportunity to get a little more separation. That game last week against Southeast Polk, they were cruising along pretty nicely, and then at about the 6-minute mark or so, Southeast Polk was able to get a couple of scores before halftime and gain the momentum.
Well, they got that score, and then they get the onside kick. Yeah, and so they scored a couple right before the half and kind of took that momentum back. You're right. Mitch Randall gets it off to Smith, and he gets a couple. Hayden Huntley will come in for Smith.
Gain of about 2, 2nd and 8.
He brings up 2nd and 8 at the 43. They'll send trips right now. With Huntley in there, Sadiat and Martinez down to the bottom of your screen. And rolling right, looking out, throws, hits Sadiat, and knocks him out of bounds. He'll get the first down, though. So these flood that right side, and he had kind of his choice of receivers there.
Yeah, he had a couple of different options, but Sadiat wide open. Pulls that in. He's a very reliable receiver. Pulls it in, tight ropes the sidelines for a couple extra yards.
So they go from their 41 to the Cedar Rapids Prairie 41. 38-yard and up the middle to Lindquist.
Alex Lindquist, the running back, number 26.
I was going to say 18-yard pickup there.
Number 22 led the tackle.
And one on for Lindquist.
Jake DeGroot assisting, number 44.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the 40. Now here's where the Prairie defense needs to stop. They got one earlier with an interception, but not able to turn that into points. And now a penalty again.
A little too eager, and Just changing the snap count and the cadence. Pulls Prairie off sides again.
Offsides, Hawks. 5-yard penalty.
And they'd had a little success on that pressure, trying to do it here again, but this time, as you say, with Randall back there, a little difference in the cadence, and it caught him off guard. Randall with Lindquist in the backfield with him. And keeps it himself right up the middle. And he'll get the first down and be pulled down at the 27-yard line.
Boy, that was a good read, too, and he held it in the gut of Lindquist as long as he could. Saw it open up and pulled it back and shot right back up the middle.
First and 10 at the 27, coming up on 6 minutes to play in the first half. Waukee trying to get another score here. And a little pressure thrown out wide, and Odell turned.
Pass intended for Sam Odell, it's incomplete.
And he threw that even before Odell turned, and Brammer was out there on coverage, I believe.
Yep, that was Brammer out there, and he turns around just as that ball is coming.
And fortunately for Waukee, Brammer didn't turn on earlier because he could have taken that back the other way.
Right.
But there's so much connection between Odell and Randall that he just threw it before Odell stopped and made his turn.
Yeah, I'm sure they have worked that quite a bit in practice and just know the timing of that. Defense was there that time, though.
Lindquist up the middle and plows through down to the 12-yard line.
They're starting to open up some big holes on that front line.
Spread them out with the receivers and then up the middle. Martinez comes out and Hayden Huntley comes in for him. And it's first and 10 at the 13 for the Warriors. Lindquist in the backfield with Randall. They'll roll right. Lindquist trying to seal the edge for Randall, and he'll get a few yards, but inside the 10. Couldn't quite get enough to turn the corner all the way.
Just kept forcing him into the sideline, so he could not get the corner and strung it out a little bit.
Second and 5 at the 8 for Waukee. Hand off to Lindquist. He'll try to turn the corner the other way, and a nice job coming up with the tackle, Schwarzendruber.
Boy, that's a great tackle by Schwarzendruber, as he was kind of the last line of defense. Otherwise, Lindquist might have been able to hit the corner and get another touchdown.
And that's the kind of tackle sometimes Lindquist could run through, but Schwarzendruber just wrapped him up and pulled him right down there. So 3rd and 6 at the 9 for Waukee.
And they can get a first down without getting the touchdown.
Send Odell in motion across the formation. Fake it right across the middle and hit. Sadat hit as the ball got there, and it goes incomplete. Good defense by Brody Jones.
Brody
Even
Jones.
if Sadat were able to pull that into his body, Jones was going to try to jar it loose either way. But
right. Made some impressive plays here in the defensive backfield.
So Cade Jaden will come out. This will be a 26-yarder. He's hit a 27-yarder on the season. And this one is up and good.
Well, at least Waukee able to get some points out of that. Got down into the red zone and came away with 3.
Makes it 17-0 here with 4:17 to play in the first half. Well, it hasn't been pretty, but they've had a few drives that have been hurt by penalties and the one interception, but they've bared down and kind of taken control here offensively.
They're just methodically working their way down the field, and what was it, Hank Stram said, matriculate down the field. That's kind of what they've been doing, is working their way down the field, but then they've kind of stubbed their toe with penalties and turnovers.
And Prairie will go back, looking to receive the kickoff here once again. So they took that at their own 41 and drove it down to the 17. Or drove it down and got the 27-yard field goal, I should say. Waukee did, and makes it 17-0. Forsland back deep to receive along with Amir. This one is going to go to Amir at the 9. Amir looking for room outside. Turns the corner. Has a little room up to the 35 and knocked out of bounds on the far side at the 38-yard line. So gets them in good field position to start off on the drive.
Well, they would have had good field position the last time they had the ball, but they had the penalty that backed them up to the 15. Now, again, good starting position. See if they can work their way down and get a score here in the last 4 minutes, 9 seconds.
Hunter Williams in there with Pearson behind him. That's Amir out on the wing there. Amir comes around, but they give it to Pearson, and he drives ahead across the 40 for a good pickup on first down.
They had success with that on their second drive where they were direct snapping to Pearson, able to move the ball down the field, but then the drive stalled.
2nd and 6 at their own 41. This time inside handoff to Amir, and he gets stacked up at the line of scrimmage and can't get the corner turned. So now Waukee has him in 3rd and long here.
Amir was just following Pearson through the hole, but the defense was right there, plugged everything up.
7 yards to go for the Hawks. Correction, 3rd and 6 for the Hawks.
Take a long time getting the play there. Still looking at it.
They might call a timeout here as they're
play
down
clock's
to 10.
down to 9. And I think they probably will.
Williams is pointing to the play clock saying, hey, we either have to call timeout or call play.
Yeah. So they'll take a timeout. Let's take a break. We'll be back with more after this on CISN.TV.
Save thousands in Waukee. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. 2019 Silverado 1500 Double Cab up to 25% off. 2019 Silverado 1500 Crew Cab LT or RST up to 20% off MSRP or up to $5,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. We're in a position to give you more for your trade in Waukee. 2019 Colorado up to $7,000 off or $5,000 off plus 1.9% for 60 months or 2.9% for 72 months. These won't last. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Here at Waukee, 2:55 to go in the first half. Dar Danielson with you, and Laura Leonard. Prairie takes a timeout. They have a 3rd and 6 at the 42. Big 3rd down here, Laura. They need to keep the drive going here. Try to get some points on before halftime.
Yeah, good timeout because you don't want to rush things. The play clock was winding down. You don't want to just rush a play in there. So good timeout to talk about things because this is a very important play here in this ball game.
Here's Hunter Williams. Fakes inside. Demir throws across. Has a man out there. I think that is Scott.
Pass is complete.
Yep.
From the quarterback, number 8, Hunter Williams.
Clayton Scott up to the Waukee 45.
Number 37.
Or was that 37?
I think it was 37.
Okay, I thought it was 35, like. So it'll be Schwartzendruber, 37.
Zach Gaines made the stop for the Warriors.
Big conversion there. 1st and 10 at the Waukee 45. For Cedar Rapids Prairie. Faked it inside and gives it to Amir, and he stopped in the backfield. That interior line there, Kel Thorson and then Cole Spikes with a linebacker came right up. They were not fooled at all.
Now, they've been ready for that all night long. They have not been able to break Amir open as he comes off the edge. Waukee is ready for that and staying in position to make the tackle.
A loss of 2, 2nd and 12 for the Hawks.
Waukee brings in Braden Mentz in there. 2nd and 13. Fake man across, give it to the up. Handoff. Goes to Adam Longwell, who's in the ball game there. So makes it 3rd and 8. Here, 3rd and long.
Another big play in a minute and a half. Coming up on a minute and a half here in the half. They might call another timeout here.
Let's see what they do.
Yep,
Longwell in the backfield. They send Amir over to the left slot. Still time on the play clock. Amir comes across the motion, fake to him. Looked like some pressure. Oh! And he just threw it behind Longwell there as he had to get rid of it under heavy pressure. Now let's see if they go for it here with 1:14 to play, or will they punt it?
4th down.
Looks like they're going to have a talk about it over there. Prairie trailing 17-0 here in the first half.
I'll give you an update on a score. Dowling Catholic leading Johnston 14-0 late in the first half.
Well, it looks like they're going to bring out the punter. Breaksiak.
Number 23, Joe Morrison is heading back to receive. Number 21.
One more quick update. Ankeny Centennial leading Waterloo West 7-6 right before half.
Punt back to Morrison. He lets it drop, and it'll be downed back at the 7.
Mason Mahoney for the Hawks. It'll be 1st and 10 Warriors from the Warriors.
See what Waukee does. See if they get a big play here on 1st down, if then they try to take a couple of shots to see if they can score.
A 7-6 Centennial?
Yes.
That's a little surprise because I don't think Waterloo West, record-wise anyway, and Centennial's been playing pretty well, but again, you never know. Here's Waukee, 1:07 to play, first half. Back up to their own end zone. There's a handoff to Lindquist.
Alex Lindquist, the running back, number 26.
He gets up across the 10.
They might be content going into the locker room with the 17-point lead.
Yep.
Jose Ramirez, number 52.
Don't want any big issues or turnovers here. You send Sam Odell wide to the right here with Jalen Martinez. And Lindquist back there deep as the clock rolling. Spins, gets out of pressure, and up the sideline. One man to beat, gets by him, up across the 30, 35, 40, and knocked out of bounds at the 44 is Mitch Randall.
Yeah, fakes the pass, pulls it down, and found a ton of running room over to the left side of the field. And
Brody Jones saved the touchdown over there.
He sure did. He's had a big game here tonight. Brody Jones hustles over and knocks him out of bounds. Now an opportunity for Waukee to take a couple of shots.
1st and 10 at the 43. They send 3 in a bunch to the right. Rolling right, pressure, he lobs it out there, has Sadat across the 50 and delivers a lick as he goes out of bounds to Schwarzenegger. A couple good players meeting up right there.
Yeah.
But that stops the clock with 18.7 to play here. Ball at the 46, 1st and 10 for Waukee. Time is the issue right now, and there's a jump again on Prairie.
Just a little over anxious as they're making adjustments, and
now 3 penalties on them here in the second quarter.
Stoner DeGroot was the one that jumped. He was trying to get into position and maybe have the momentum to get him into the backfield to disrupt the handoff or the pass.
1st and 5 now at the 41. Randall drops back, looks, throws it up to Odell down the right side. He's got a little separation, couldn't bring it in. Into double coverage, nicely thrown ball, but just could not get it between the defenders.
It was a well-thrown ball, and I thought Odell was going to be able to run underneath that just off the fingertips and maybe just a little contact.
Yeah, and I think the inside defender had his hand up there too. So 2nd and 5 at the 41. Low snap, Randall back. Now they'll throw it back across to Lindquist out of the backfield. Lindquist and knocked out of bounds.
Gives them time to get a field goal if they want.
21, yep. 5.2 to play here. It'd be about a 38-yard field goal. Let's see if they try to take one more shot. They got 2 timeouts. We saw New Orleans Saints do something like this the other night. But no, they're going to set up for the field goal here. At the 29, it'd be a 39-yarder for Jaden. There's the snap. The kick is up. Good! They call it 38. Jaden with the field goal. Here as time is, well, it didn't expire. 1.3 seconds to play. 20-0 Waukee.
Well, that was an impressive drive in the amount of time. What do we say, about a minute 40 left when they took over?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yep.
Right around there.
Right around there.
Didn't really do anything on first down, but then got the big run.
And then the penalty helped him, too. Give him a little more yardage, and the clock didn't run. Stop the clock.
They were able to move the ball down the field, and once they got in the sights where they thought they could maybe take some shots to try to go to the end zone, they did, but they also were able to get themselves into field goal position and add 3 more to the board.
So now Jaden will kick it off here. And he's got to feel good about that. I know he put a lot on his shoulders last week thinking that field goal he missed, but he comes right back and hits a long one, a 38 and a 27, and it's both extra points. So right back at it here in a big first half here for Waukee.
Yeah, that kind of helps you relax a little bit, a sigh of relief when you knock one through.
Tariq Amir and Colton Forsland back deep to receive for Prairie. They're back about the 6 and 9, and this one's going to be a bouncer. They're not going to try to keep from getting a return. Amir picks it up, though, looking to go outside. He's ripped down. And the ball is, nope, they're going to say it's down.
And he's hurt. He came down awkwardly, and I don't know if it's an ankle or a knee, but boy, he sure came down awkwardly on the tackle.
Kind of got a hold of the shoulder pads and pulled him down. There was Jermaine Samir. And so it'll be halftime. Waukee up 20-0. We'll have a special guest coming up here at halftime. You'll want to stick around for that. A state championship coach here from Waukee. 20-0 Waukee at the half. We'll take a break. Be back with more after this on CISN.TV.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau's seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
Central Bank is proud to support the unmatched spirit of sportsmanship and hard work exemplified by our local athletes. We're fans of high school sports and the way the big game and hometown team rally a community. Best of luck to all of today's competitors. Play hard, have fun, and make something great happen. Central Bank, member FDIC.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules, they're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit IowaRadiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology.
Welcome back to Waukee High School. We're at halftime. It's Waukee leading Cedar Rapids Prairie 20-0. Joining me at halftime is the head boys soccer coach at Waukee, Carlos Haseby. And, I know getting back-to-back titles in any sport is tough, but you guys did it this year in soccer, right? And then you went undefeated, right, this year?
That's right.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. Was that something you said at the start of the season? Obviously, you want to get back and get the title again, right?
Absolutely. We didn't focus on going undefeated. That wasn't our intent. Our intent mainly was to be able to be consistent, have a good effort, play good soccer every game. And we never tried to look too far ahead. We never really focused on one game over another. We just took it one game at a time, really.
And how did you handle that as you started, winning, and then, that streak gets longer and longer, and then I know you say we're not going to look ahead, but you know how high school kids are. Everybody is. They look, well, maybe they can go undefeated, through that. Did you talk about that at all as you went through?
No, we didn't actually. I'm sure the players did, but when we were training or ever together, we never really discussed winning streaks. We never discussed going undefeated. It was, again, the consistency, having the right mindset for every game.
Mm-hmm. Talk a little bit about some of the players and some of the key contributors on that team.
Well, it starts with our senior class. We had guys that had been part of the program for 4 years. I think of those 10, if I'm not mistaken, I think 9 of them had been, actually 8 of them had been part of the program since they were freshmen. And then 2 other players, one was a 3-year player, another one was a 2-year player. So they really brought a lot of experience. And ultimately they kind of drove really what we did as a group, and they were really coaches for me on the field when we needed them. And
that's key, isn't it? Because especially in soccer, because you can't really take a timeout and pull them over, and you kind of have to have your players out there directing people and telling them, don't you?
Absolutely. That's the beauty of the sport. It's really coaches really don't run the show when all's said and done. When it's game time, the players have to dictate what's going to go on the field, and they have to control each other as best they can, and we don't get to stop things really until halftime, and that's the only time when we can make changes.
So are you doing anything this time of year, or what kind of training? When do you start training then again for the next soccer season?
So we really don't do a whole lot until the turn of the year. So when we get into January, we have meetings, and then we start doing some type of open gym activity. But with over 130 kids playing, it's really difficult to get them in one gym. So we kind of have to be creative with how we do things, and we just kind of let them do what they've been doing all throughout the fall season. And during the wintertime, a lot of them still have some club activity going on as well. So we kind of just let them relax, really, more than anything else. We don't put a lot of onus on taking part in high school team activities, because really when we get into March, we want them to be ready to go. We don't want to have to burden them with extra activities prior to the start of the season. It's a long season as it is. There's plenty going on. We really just want them to be fresh and ready to come in with a good mindset.
You mentioned a little bit about the club stuff, and how important is it, though, to keep playing a little bit and keep those skills? I know in baseball and stuff, hitting is always there, and and that. How important is it to have some kind of organized soccer skill?
It's really important, especially for the type of soccer that we want to play, and what we want from our players. They have to be playing a lot to be able to maintain a high standard that we have. And so a lot of our players are playing club soccer during the fall season. They're able to do some things during the wintertime when there's not as much going on. So I think some of them take part in basketball, and I know they're doing some other activities outside of even the soccer club and the high school. So we want them to play, because that's going to make them better players. When we get them in season, we don't have a lot of time to really focus on the technical aspect of the game. We incorporate it into everything that we do in terms of our training, but we can't just take them aside and say, hey, we got to work on shooting, because that's only one element of the game, and we have to be really mindful of how economical we are in terms of our practice.
Then conditioning, do you do a lot of running, or do you do, how does that work as far as being in shape for soccer? Because sometimes you could run a lot.
Yeah, you could. I think with high school, the way it's set up, we have unlimited substitutions. And for our program, we're fortunate that we have a lot of good players. So we had a roster of 28 players. All of them played. All of them lettered. I think 26 of them were able to start a game. They all had, I think, some type of stat that was significant. So they all contribute. And when we get into practice, we can focus our attention on less of the fitness component and more of the soccer piece. And we do work them when we need to, but we have to be very, very mindful of how we schedule our things. And periodization is very important for what we try to do during the 3 months that we have them.
But that comes down to important, like when you get into the tournament, doesn't it? Because you have less time, less time in between when you're playing those games,
Yeah,
don't
absolutely. It's going to change this coming year, so there'll be a break between day 1 and day 2, and day 2 and day 3. So there's going to be a built-in break now, which will help a lot of teams. It's really a good move on part of the state association, but we were beneficiaries of having back-to-back-to-back games because we had such a large roster, and we had the ability to play a lot of players. We were able to substitute kind of at will when we wanted to, and our standard did not drop at all.
So you lose some leadership, but ready to go next year? You have guys you think will step up into those roles?
Absolutely. There's going to be some good players that take on the leadership aspect of the group. I'm not going to worry about that aspect because I think our players that have been a part of the program for at least a year or two now they bring in the same type of experience that they've had in the past, but now they get to be kind of in charge of what's going to happen with the group.
And you kind of set, I mean, you don't go out saying, well, we won it 2 years, we got to win again, but there's kind of that level and that good feeling, and it builds on itself, doesn't it, when you're winning? Yeah,
it does. And really, I think the players know that based on what they're doing in the club environment because they've had success there, and they know the type of talent that they're bringing to the table when we get them together collectively. So we have 4 age groups, basically 4 years of players that we can combine and create essentially an all-star team. And when they're doing their own thing in the club environment, they're going just their own grade level for the most part, and they're having success. So now we're bringing them together, and it's just about really getting them to sync up more than anything else and play the style that we want them to play. Not to take away from what they're doing in the club environment because that's important, but it's understanding that this is how we want to play when we're together here. Whether it's right or wrong, this is what we want to do. We want them to buy into that. We want them, again, to bring the right mindset and be consistent.
Well, another one of the teams that's Waukee's built great success talking about the all-sports stuff, and I know Jim Dewey's proud of that. I know you guys as coaches, too, are proud of that, the school, well-rounded in all these sports that you're doing well in, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's fun to be a part of that. So in terms of the boys soccer program, there was a number of years there where we weren't getting to the state tournament, and having that recent success and being able to contribute it feels real good. It means that not only are we doing our part, but we know that others are as well. And I think last year was just a testament to the players, the parents, the community, the school district, everything, top to bottom in terms of the support that we received.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Congratulations. And maybe, can we say three-peat? Is that copyrighted or I don't know, but just go out. We'll have another good season. Maybe get back down to county and play for another one, huh?
That's the idea. Yeah, that's the idea. But we'll focus our attention on just doing it right from the beginning and taking it game to game.
All right. Thanks, Coach. We're going to take a break here and be back with more after this on CISN.TV.
Central Bank is proud to support the unmatched spirit of sportsmanship and hard work exemplified by our local athletes. We're fans of high school sports and the way the big game and hometown team rally a community. Best of luck to all of today's competitors. Play hard, have fun, and make something great happen. Central Bank, member FDIC.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules, they're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
We're here at halftime at Waukee. The Warriors up 20-0 at the half against Cedar Rapids Prairie. Dar Danielson, Laura Leonard here. And I think we got some of the action here from the first half we're going to review, Laura. And is this first touchdown here? And we'll see the handoff, and plowing right on through there was Lindquist. And that was the run from 14 yards out by Lindquist for the touchdown. And we'll queue up another one here for you. And this will be the big hit on a kickoff. As Forsland took it, he came up and looked like he was going to cruise to the line in there, and then wham, just a pancake tackle, not a pancake block.
No, pancake tackle by Cole Spikesma, just laid him flat.
Spikesma there, and then later we had a interception by Cedar Rapids Prairie, picked off back there by, it was Jones, right?
Right.
And he's made some big plays that kind of kept Prairie in this, and that was a key turnover on a Waukee drive. And then now here's another of the touchdown runs. Or is this this is a run by Lindquist? Okay. Here we go. You'll see our on-field camera there. It's Smith and Lindquist in the backfield. And there they hand it off to Smith on the counter, and Smith takes it up the middle, turns on the burners, and the second touchdown of the game, a 38-yarder by Smith. And Waukee was up then with the extra points, 14-0. Then two Kate Jaden field goals, a 27-yarder and a 38-yarder, Laura. And each team has had 5 penalties. It's been a little rough in that area. Each has thrown an interception, so not a totally clean game, but Waukee's had some good drives and, a couple drives that didn't end in touchdowns, but they got points on the board here, and they're sitting where they like to be at 20-0 at the half.
Right, they were happy to get that field goal on the board, too, right before the end of the half to give them even more separation.
Yeah, they took that with about 30 seconds came up, and then he hit the field goal with 1.5 seconds to play. So
right, and Prairie has moved the ball at times, but then they've had penalties that have hurt them, or they've ran negative plays where they've lost yardage. And so they need to find a good balance of, I think, the pass and run. They've used the Wildcat formation a little bit with Pearson in the backfield. That's been productive for them. They haven't thrown the ball a whole lot, so we'll see how they come out here. However, I think Waukee gets the ball to start here in the third quarter.
Yeah, and we talked about it. He only threw 21 passes, about 10 passes each in the first 2 games because they've been running it so well. They started to show a little bit of the passing there, as you said, but just haven't strung together a lot of both the passing and the running here yet today. But credit to a Waukee defense. I think coming in, we said defense is going to be their strength, even in that first game with Dowling, and it has been. They've made some good plays defensively here, too, today.
Well, you look back on those 2 games with Dowling and Southeast Polk. I mean, they have been in those ball games, and their defense has played very well. They just have not had the consistency on the offensive side that they would like to have in those first 2.
Well, let's do this. Let's take another break. We'll do that. We should be back about ready to start the second half here on CISN.TV.
Save thousands in Waukee. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. 2019 Silverado 1500 Double Cab up to 25% off. 2019 Silverado 1500 Crew Cab LT or RST up to 20% off MSRP or up to $5,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. We're in a position to give you more for your trade in Waukee. 2019 Colorado up to $7,000 off or $5,000 off plus 1.9% for 60 months or 2.9% for 72 months. These won't last. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. Waukee Chevy.
Central Bank is proud to support the unmatched spirit of sportsmanship and hard work exemplified by our local athletes. We're fans of high school sports and the way the big game and hometown team rally a community. Best of luck to all of today's competitors. Play hard, have fun, and make something great happen. Central Bank, member FDIC.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules, they're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
You see the purple mass of Waukee down there getting ready to start the second half. They lead 20-0. And Laura, I think I figured out the issue with the penalties and the turnovers in that first half. A, it's Friday the 13th. B, if you look out there, a full moon. So we'll chalk it up to that, and maybe it'll be a little cleaner second half here.
Yeah, that I noticed that.
Beautiful moon out
It is
there.
a beautiful moon, and you're right, it is Friday the 13th, so some crazy things are happening, and they're happening on the field. Hopefully here in the second half, a little bit cleaner for both teams.
Well, for Cedar Rapids Prairie, they need to get a defensive stop and then get a sustained drive on offense. I don't think they've maybe been into Waukee territory maybe once offensively, if that, here in the first half.
Yeah, I think maybe once that I can recall. And
yeah, they had the big pass and then they got it up here, but then they stalled, I believe. So they need to get something going that way. But for Waukee, they will receive to start the second half. Aaron Smith is back deep along with Lindquist back there. And also
A.J. Walter, deep to receive. Aaron Smith, number 5. Alex Lindquist, number 26. Xavier Moore, number 31.
Xavier Moore also back there. Taken by Smith at the 2. Smith finds some room, cuts it back outside, and is tripped up. Just it looked like he was going to get to the outside. Forsland drops him at the 30-yard line. But
saves the touchdown.
Yeah, but either way, they're going to start out with pretty good field position here to start the second half.
Midway through that first quarter, we saw the defense of Prairie really step up and put pressure on Waukee. They're going to need to try to find that kind of momentum and that kind of defense here in this first series.
Mitch Randall in the empty backfield, and he'll just take the ball right up the middle himself, bust through across the 40 up to the 46 as the tackle throws him forward, and he picks up 17 yards on the opening run.
You know, if I remember right, in that Southeast Polk game last week, they started that way as well with the empty backfield.
Yeah, in the second half, they come out and got it going. So Martinez, Odell, and Sadat all come to the left side of the formation there, seeing that bunch with Lindquist in the back, and they fake it to him. They throw it out to Sadat. Sadat has room, across the 50, 45, 40, and gets knocked down there by Jones.
Boy, and great blocking out front as well. Odell was out there blocking for Sadat, and once he received that ball,
I think I saw he tweeted that he's going to take a visit to Iowa. So,
nice.
You know, he's starting to get some looks here, the junior, Sadat. And just as we talk about it, he had Stomfield a little early, I think. Yep.
For the snap, illegal procedure against Waukee, 5-yard penalty.
And so that'll move it back. Each team had 5 penalties in the first half. So that makes it 1st and 15 at the 44. Trips right, 2 receivers left. Again, an empty backfield. Throws it out to Martinez, juggles it, and can't come up with it. Huntley almost was able to get the juggle, but that time Martinez started running downfield before he hauled it in.
I think he knew he had a lot of running room, and he tried to get headed downfield before he really pulled that ball in.
This just puts so much pressure on the defense, too, and you can leave Randall back there alone, but now he puts Lindquist back there with him on 2nd and 15. Fakes it to Lindquist, keeps it himself, but this time, good read, and they pull him down. Right there is
Stoner to Groove.
Clayton Scott. Yep. So he might have lost a yard there. Or are they going to mark him right back at the... No, there's a flag down too, isn't there? Holding on the defense.
Dead ball, personal foul against
Or no personal foul.
Well, that's
okay.
automatic too.
Yep, that's an automatic first down. I misread the signal there. So that wipes out a 3rd and 15, and it makes the 1st and 10.
Those are just crushing penalties for a team that's behind, trying to get them turned over and get the ball back on offense.
Fakes it, now gives it to Smith. Smith cuts it outside. Cuts it by Jones. At the 15, back outside to the 10. Gets a block. 5, and is shoved out of bounds at the 5-6 yard line. Nifty piece of running by Smith.
A little zig, a little zag. Great footwork. He dip in one way and then cut back the other way, making defenders miss all the way.
And when you make Jones miss, you know you're doing something because he's been sure out there defensively for Prairie. That sets up a 1st and goal at the 6 for Waukee. They're looking over to the sideline for the play. They'll come up with Lindquist here. Sadat tight end on the left. Slot comes in motion. Hand off to Lindquist. He's looking for room. Pushes. Touchdown. Bowls his way into the end zone.
Wow, he got contact, stood him up, but then he kept the legs driving and able to cross the goal line, almost threw himself over, in for the touchdown.
2nd TD run by Lindquist. First was 14, this was 6. He's the power guy they go to inside the 20. And Kate Jaden out for the extra point.
Kate Jaden in to attempt the extra point.
Snap. The kick is up and good.
And the extra point by Jaden is good.
27-0 Waukee. The kickoff coming up after this on CISN.TV.
Save thousands in Waukee. Schadenkerk Chevy Waukee. 2019 Silverado 1500 Double Cab up to 25% off. 2019 Silverado 1500 Crew Cab LT or RST up to 20% off MSRP or up to $5,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. We're in a position to give you more for your trade in Waukee. 2019 Colorado up to $7,000 off or $5,000 off plus 1.9% for 60 months or 2.9% for 72 months. These won't last. Schadenkerk Chevy Waukee. Waukee Chevy.
Central Bank is proud to support the unmatched spirit of sportsmanship and hard work exemplified by our local athletes. We're fans of high school sports and the way the big game and hometown team rally a community. Best of luck to all of today's competitors. Play hard, have fun, and make something great happen. Central Bank, member FDIC.
Back to Waukee. The Warriors have scored here to open the 3rd quarter. Took it, 71 yards and finished it up with a 6-yard run by Lindquist to go up 27-0 after the K. Jaden extra point. And back deep to receive is Colton Forsland and Tariq Amir for Prairie. A big high kick. Forsland lets it bounce and it'll go into the end zone. And Prairie will start out 1st and 10 at the 20. And we talked about it, Laura. They've had some good runs, some good passes, but not strung a lot of those together in one series so far here tonight.
Now they need to have a really good series here and move the ball down the field, try to get a score, and match Waukee to start the third quarter here. And, you know, they had them in a situation where it was 3rd and long and possibly could hold them. They had the penalty.
That
they
personal
gave
foul,
Waukee the first down.
Kept the drive alive, so as you said, a key penalty there. Here's Hunter Williams. He'll take it and looking for room, but is dropped before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. Looked like something was opening up, but Paulus brought him down. Caleb Paulus, Karsten Lappy, Connor Arndt, Kel Thorson. Up front, Chase Evanson, Cole Spikesman, Ethan Wiersma, the linebackers, Bill Mukhtar, Simon Lofsgaard, Joe Morrison, and Aaron Smith. Defenders there. And there's a pass out just over the head of for
the extra Bohr.
Michael Bohr. Michael Bohr.
Sorry.
Michael Bohr.
I think he slowed up just a little bit. Bohr looking for the ball, and if he would have just kept running.
Might have been able to catch that in stride. So 3rd and 12. They get somebody on late. Dropping back, looking. Throws across the middle. Oh, man. Had him up in the air, and that would have been a tough catch to make for Jones. Brody Jones went up and he got hit. Left exposed there, and we have a Prairie player down on the field.
Jones can dish it out, but he took his fair share on that hit.
That one, yeah.
Boy, he went high and right at his peak. He had the ball in his hands, but the hit knocked it out, and he bounced right back up.
So just a couple of passing plays there, just a little off. Otherwise, you know, that one probably would have been a first down, and so would the previous one.
And they're finding some openings in that passing game, so I think they're going to have to go to it a little bit more.
As Waukee's kind of keyed up for the run here. Well, let's take a timeout right now. We got a player down, and we'll take a well. Wait a minute, they're getting him up here, so let's see. That's good. He's getting up, and that's Carter Linz getting up. 6'4" senior. He's now jogging off under his own power. That's good to see here. And it'll be punting time again for Prairie as they go 3 and out on their first drive here of the third quarter. And
fourth down for the Hawks.
Joe Morrison back deep to receive for Waukee. Here's the punt. Nice, good, high punt. Morrison takes it at the 40. Sidesteps, now looking for some room outside. Gets a block and stiff arms and is knocked out up about the 48-yard line.
After a big punt.
Again, good starting position, though, for Waukee.
Number 6, and Chance Brammer, number 13.
Yep, start 1st and 10 at the 49 here with 9:17 to play.
From the Warriors 48.
Waukee sends Morrison, Sadat, and Smith to the right side, and they got Odell here on the left and Lindquist in the backfield with Mitch Randall, the quarterback. Fakes it. Looking, Odell broke free, but Randall had to scramble back the other way. He's going to turn the corner, gets a block, and he'll get the first down. But if he had about one more second, Odell was streaking down the left side there.
So he pulls it down and he runs to the other side of the field, and Martinez doing a good job of breaking off his route and coming back to block.
And speaking of blocking, that lineup there, Garrett Sperling, Ross Palmer, Caden Capps, Bo Schaller, and Alex Wiggins, the offensive line up front there for the Warriors. Martinez comes in motion. They fakes it to Lindquist. Everybody stops. Now they throw it out in the flat to Sadat, and he turns to look and drops it.
Everybody covered up downfield, so he goes to probably his secondary, maybe his third receiver in Sadat, and just could not hang on to it.
Had the two wides going down and just hook it back. In good coverage there by the Prairie defenders. Johnny Jones, one of them out there. He comes out wide here on Odell. There's a little tighter formation now, and they hand it off to Lindquist, and he gets dropped behind a line of scrimmage. So
now this is going to be a big down for Prairie, 3rd and 12.
Big third down again. Last time they got a penalty that kept the drive alive, so we'll see what they do here because they're
3rd and 12 for the Warriors.
Well, that'd be a 40 out of field goal range and leading 27 nothing. I don't think you try that. You know, fear of get blocked and they run it back, even if you don't get the first down. But trips right now for Randall. And Huntley comes in motion, and Randall will go right in behind Lindquist, and there's a flag down inside there. That might be holding. He was tackled for no gain. We'll see if they the penalties against Waukee, if they take it, or they're saying it's holding.
Waukee.
He's going to look to see, do you go to send him to 4th down or move him back yardage-wise? The players, they want to decline it and go 4th down. I think they're going to do that. Yep. So they'll decline the penalty. All the players are waving the arms. They said, hey, we got him stopped. Now, Waukee's coming up like they're going to go for it here.
Maybe the pooch kick by Randall?
It might be by Randall. Yeah. Or they try to get a penalty. No, they call timeout, so.
Correction. Timeout Waukee.
Timeout Waukee. Let's take a break. We'll be back right after this on CISN.TV.
Every month or so, there's another story in the media about when and how often we need to get our mammograms. It's kind of confusing. When this happens, I like to consult with experts. So I called Iowa Radiology. They recommend women get an annual mammogram starting at age 40. They know that it's the best way to detect cancers early and save lives. And that's good enough for me. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule your mammogram. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
4th and 11 for Waukee. Looks like they're going to go for it here. At the 37, Randall rolling, throws it out. It's low. It'll be incomplete, and Prairie will take over. Other scores looks like Centennial over West, 14-6 in the 3rd. Valley and Kennedy knotted up at 7-7 in the 3rd. Ankeny over Cedar Falls, or down to Cedar Falls, 21-13. Dowling over Johnston, 17-0. And Fort Dodge Indianola in a big battle there, 14-14. Southeast Polk over West, Iowa City West, 16-6. So a lot of close scores up there tonight, Laura.
Yeah, there really are a lot of close scores up there. Some good competition, good competitive games tonight.
Hunter Williams fakes it, now gives it to the second back coming through, and he winds his way up as Keenan Francois.
Joe Morrison made the tackle for the Warriors again, number 21. 3-yard gain, second and 7.
Picks up 3, so Francois in there in the backfield for the first time tonight.
Trying to change things up, see if they can find somebody with a hot hand.
Two receivers left, one right. That's Jones out here to the right, and they send a man in motion and hand it off up the middle and looking for some room, but there's just a swarm of purple jerseys. He'll get maybe a yard.
We got a flag again.
And then a flag comes in, yeah.
A little extracurricular, I think, in the pileup.
Also in there, several Warriors, including Ben Howard.
Waukee's clapping, so we'll see if that's against Prairie. Personal foul against Prairie. That's the second personal foul. The first one kept a Waukee drive, that last Waukee drive alive. Now this one sets them back when they would have been at 3rd and 6. And now they'll be back to
3rd and 21.
3rd and 21, yeah.
Yeah, those are 2 huge penalties. Because 3rd and 6 is manageable.
Yeah, 3rd and 6 is makeable, but 3rd and 21 makes it a lot tougher, especially with the struggles they had a little bit with their passing game here tonight. Man in motion across the formation. Williams rolling, stops, throws, hits it up the seam and back to the original line of scrimmage is Jones. Johnny Jones. And see there, that pass would have given you a first down if it was 3rd and 6.
Right.
But
And that's the difference with that penalty.
4th down and 10. And they're going to punt it away again. So 2 personal fouls here in the second half. Prairie, they had 5 penalties in the first half. Waukee had 5 in the first half, 1 here so far in the second. So a lot of yellow flags out there. And Morrison calls for a fair catch and will take it at the 24-yard line. And that's where Waukee will take over. 1st and 10.
Third quarter score, Cedar Rapids, Kennedy 7.
I think when you go back and look at the statistics in the game film of this ball game, I think the Prairie coaches are going to point to the penalties that really hurt them on a couple of different drives. They kept drives alive for Waukee and hurt themselves on offense this last time.
And here's Mitch Randall back out now. Fakes, throws it across the middle. Sadat has it to the 40, spins up to the 43-yard line. It'll be a 19-yard pickup.
Just a nice cut over the middle. Sadat wide open. Randall dumps it right over the top of the defense to him and lets him run.
And I know one of the things Coach Bliss for Prairie talked about a little bit was a lot of young guys playing and how they'd react as Randall breaks free and gets dropped on a good open field tackle there by Schwarzendruber. But he was talking about they had to replace a lot of guys, and a lot of young guys, and he talked about how they'd react when they're behind. You know, they've played ahead in the first 2 games, and how will these guys react? And maybe a few things they've done, like especially those 2 personal fouls. But
well, and those are things you learn as you go. And if you're young on defense or on offense, it's a learning process each and every game.
Yep, Smith wins his way up across the 50. So that'll make it 3rd and short for Waukee into Prairie territory. And
got another player down.
Player down for Prairie again here.
Come out on the field. Officials come out for an injury.
And let's take a timeout of our own right now. We'll do that and be back after this on CISN.TV.
You don't have to go to Hy-Vee Market Grill to get Hy-Vee Market Grill. Now get Hy-Vee Market Grill delivered. Choose from the best burgers in town, delicious steaks, seafood, appetizers. There's nothing mini about the Hy-Vee Market Grill menu, and it's all delivered to your door. Save time and save the day, or at least dinner. Just order on the Hy-Vee Market Grill app. Hy-Vee Market Grill. We deliver delicious.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are...
3rd and 2 for Waukee at the Prairie 49, and there's a jump. That'll be a first down.
That's at least 5 times.
Yeah, that they've jumped
been
offside.
Able to get them to jump.
Yep, there was, I think you're right, there was 4 in the first half where they were offside where they jumped. And that's the 3rd penalty here of the 3rd quarter for Prairie. Gives the 1st and 10 to Waukee at the 44. Mitch Randall, the quarterback. Pressure off the edge, lobs it out to Odell. Did he get it? No.
That pass is incomplete.
He got the hands on it and lost it. Faisal Abbey on the coverage there, but almost another circus catch by Odell.
Yeah, the coverage was there, and Randall felt the pressure coming, so the hot receiver was streaking down the sidelines, and he lofted it up there, and Odell almost came up with a fantastic catch.
2nd and 10 at the 44. And again, off the edge. This time they had it up the middle. Lindquist breaks free. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown number 3 for Lindquist. Warrior touchdown.
Prairie got a little too aggressive, coming off the edges, left the middle wide open. Lindquist able to run right through it to the end zone.
44-yarder this time for Lindquist. His longest touchdown run of the night. And that's the 4th of the night or 4th of the season for Lindquist. Here's Jaden for the extra point. Up and good. 33-0 or 34-0. Waukee. We'll take a break, come back with the kickoff after this on CISN.TV.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Back here at Waukee. It'll be a kickoff. Waukee will kick off after the touchdown run by Lindquist. Forsland back along with Tariq Amir for Cedar Rapids Prairie. And here's the boot. Be taken at the 2. Forsland looks for a block, sidesteps a man up across the 20, and then he's going to be pulled down at the 20-yard line. Will be 1st and 10. Oh, Laura, you called it that last drive. They were bringing pressure, and just as they brought the pressure that time, they just ran that handoff up the middle, and everything kind of opened up as they were trying to pressure from the outside.
Well, and as soon as Lindquist sees a hole like that, he's going to be able to get through it.
Once he gets running downhill, it's hard to stop him, isn't it? Yeah. So 1st and 10 at the 20 for Prairie. Nick Pearson in there. And up the middle goes the pile.
Nicholas Pearson on the carry, number 43.
And Pearson. I haven't mentioned the offensive line for Prairie. Carter Lynn, Skylar Paulson, Jack Halverson, Will Thalaker, and Colton Staub.
3-yard gain, 2nd and 7.
Line up front, and they've had a tough battle tonight against that purple defensive line of Waukee. As they look to the sideline for the play. Williams checks the sheet on his arm. And there's a handoff to Amir as he tries to turn and get outside, but the pursuit is just too much. And I think that's been his, on that handoff to get outside, but they just have shut that off, Laura. They haven't let Amir get anywhere to turn the corner at all.
No, and he comes off the edge, and he starts going backward, and then that defense pursues, and so he's negative yards, and now they're behind the change for 3rd down.
Yeah, he's found no lane to cut it back up inside or get around the edge, and it's 3rd down and 12 now at the 18. Trying to dial up a play here to get the 1st down. Twin receivers for Williams. Drops back, throws it out, and it's going to be caught, but it'll be no, they're going to say it isn't. Incomplete.
Intended for Brody Jones.
And you're going to have to punt it away here.
Yep.
Can't afford to try to go for it this deep in your own territory, even though you're down 34-0.
They've had a little success defensively stopping Waukee, and so you're right. They got to punt it away. Morrison will drop back deep for the Warriors with 2:49 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Oh, high snap over the head, and he's just going to carry it out the back and take the safety.
Well, when it rains, it pours, and you get deep in your own territory.
But Braziak made the right play there. You just got to
just
take
run
your
it
2
out of the
points
end
and
zone.
grin and bear it. And so Waukee, with the 2 points, goes up 36-0, and we'll get a free kick coming. .245 to play. I'm heading up to Ames tomorrow. Any read on that ball game? I've had a tough time trying to figure, seeing Iowa 2 times, and I was up there for the Iowa State UNI game, and it's hard to tell one game and then they have a week off with those Cyclones. They obviously improved over last year, but it's just a hard read right now.
There's a lot of talk and a lot of hype going into the season about Iowa State, and then they come out and they play a very close ball game against Northern Iowa, so some of that hype has slowed down a little bit, but I know they're going to be ready for Iowa coming in. It's at their home field, and I just think the crowd and the momentum might help push Iowa State over the edge. And however, I think Iowa's solid. They've got a good running game, solid, experienced quarterback. So I think it's going to be a close game, and maybe the last team that has the ball is going to win it.
Here's the kickoff taken up there at the 36, and then
Xavier Moore, number 31, fields.
Xavier Moore takes it, and he'll be dropped up at the 44. Yeah, it's
that tackle made by number 40,
if you
Jackson Decker.
even up game, you got to kind of give it to the home team a little bit of the edge, and I think that's kind of the way people were looking at it at the start, since it was at home, that it might be a little bit of an edge for Iowa State, but we'll see. And there's a quick shot to Odell. Spins out of the tackle across the 40, inside the 40, down to the 36-yard line.
Where Randall just got that ball away as Jones was coming in off the edge. No, excuse me, that was Friel that was coming in off the edge. And Randall got that ball away as quickly as he could, finds his target.
Drops back, lobs it over. Odell, a little deep that time, just overthrew him by a couple yards.
Pass intended for Sam Odell, number 16.
And
incomplete. Defending on the play, Johnny Jones, number 2.
Clock continues to run here because we're at 36 points, so
Waukee's going to take some shots, try to add to that lead.
fakes a handoff, gives it a handoff, and across outside, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! Xavier Moore.
Little high body bump, chest bump, and he got knocked to the ground by his teammate. Everybody excited for Moore as, again, they run a little bit of a counter, and he goes untouched into the end zone.
Yeah, and it was kind of like everybody's watching, and all of a sudden he breaks outside and there's nobody there and cruises on in. Xavier Moore, 36 yards out.
K. Jaden to attempt the extra point.
Makes it 42-0. K. Jaden on for the extra point. It's up and good. 43-0.
43, Cedar Rapids Prairie 0.
And well, you just got to credit Waukee's offense has really come out to play here tonight, and we continue to talk about it. Prairie, they've had some plays here and there, but just unable to string anything together against this Waukee defense.
Yeah, I think in the first two games, especially that first game against Dowling Catholic for Waukee, just didn't seem like the offense was in sync. Randall was missing receivers, and they couldn't get anything going offensively, and they were leading that ball game, missed a few things down the stretch, and allowed Dowling to come back and win that ball game. Looked a little better against Southeast Polk in that second game. Few mistakes cost them that ball game. And here tonight, I think the offense looks a lot better, looks more in tune, more in sync. Everybody knowing what page they're on, and it's looking more like the offense that we saw a year ago from this Waukee team.
Tariq Amir and Colton Forsland back deep to receive again for Prairie.
Deep to receive again for the Hawks. Number 7, Tariq Amir, and number 19, Colton Forsland.
Waiting the kick from Jaden. And Forsland will take it about the 3. Turns and looks, and now busts out of the pile and gets a little more out of that. And if you say anything you want about Forsland, but he's fearless back there. He'll take the hits and keep coming, and he keeps bouncing around, and looks like there's a flag down right there right about the tackle. And that could be a hold or a block there, maybe, I don't know.
Unsportsmanlike on Waukee.
Against Waukee.
I don't know if it was on the sideline or out of bounds after the play had finished. Couldn't quite see.
Well, that evens it up. Waukee's had 2 personal fouls at 15 yards, and Prairie has had 2. Of course, the ones for Prairie, the big one hurt when it kept the drive alive for Waukee, and they scored. But, yeah, neither coach is going to be happy with the penalty situation when they look at it here, go back over it in practice.
Result of the penalties, the ball is marked at the 38-yard line.
So that brings the ball up first and 10 at the 38 for Prairie with 49.3 to play in the third quarter. And there's a direct snap. Back to
Number 1 on the run.
Keenan Francois.
Waukee has been able to shut that down, the direct snap up the middle. Prairie had a little success with it early on
with
in the
Nick
first
Pearson,
quarter.
yeah, but then they've kind of sorted that out.
2-yard gain, 2nd and 8.
And I think part of that is that they haven't really shown a consistent passing threat, you know.
Right.
They've hit a couple passes but haven't consistently shown that when forced to. So that's allowed Waukee to stack those backers up a little closer to line. They drop the snap there, and then everybody swarms over. And Francois is knocked down, and that'll be the last play of the third quarter. So we'll go to the fourth quarter here. Waukee leading 43-0. Back with the final period after this on CISN.TV.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules, they're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau's seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
Schottenkirk Ford Indianola's kickoff event this month only. Take $16,000 off MSRP on every brand new 2019 Ford F-150 Crew Cab XLT 4x4 in stock. Plus, first responders receive an additional $1,000 bonus cash on new 2019 F-150 Super Duty, Expedition, and Ranger. New 2019 Fusion and Escape starting at just $18,999. Ford fans drive to Indianola to buy Fords. A kickoff event. Schottenkirk Ford Indianola. SchottenkirkFord.com.
Third down.
Here we come back, and
15 yards to go for the first.
A procedure penalty against Prairie before they could get things started. And that'll make it 3rd and 15 at the 33 for Prairie. Dar Danielson, Laura Leonard with you here. And that one is taken by Amir, and he gets stopped in the backfield.
Again, a low snap, making it difficult for him to try to be able to do anything with that ball.
Yeah, it just throws off that rhythm. And that'll bring in Sam Braziak to punt again. And
18. Break set and confirmation. Warren. Number 27 is deep to receive. That's Dylan Bose.
they send Dylan Best back to receive the punt. And a booming kick over his head. And it's going to roll down. Will it stop? It will. So a great punt.
Outstanding punt by the punter for Cedar
Let's see. He went
Rapids.
from the 30 to the 57 yards by
Well,
Braziak.
That's exactly what they needed to be able to flip the field.
And
Penalty on the play.
penalty on Waukee. So that'll take it half the distance to the goal. Why not another penalty?
If I were a coach, I was in here shaking my head. And
yeah, that's 3 on Waukee in the second half, 4 on Prairie. Both had 5 in the first half penalty, so 9 on Prairie and 8 on Waukee. And there's a sneak into the pile, and there's another flag comes out.
New quarterback in the game, Jacob Holcomb, number 7 on the quarterback keeper.
And we got a new quarterback in for Waukee. Is Jacob Holcomb.
Hawks in on that tackle, led by number 42, Moses Each.
And illegal participation on Waukee.
Substitution against Waukee is the call.
So that'll take it back half the distance to about the 1 yard line.
Half of a yard is half a yard, so that's where the ball is.
First and 10 at the 1.
Still first down.
So Waukee has now evened up the penalty situation. And into the middle of the pile, Holcomb. And go ahead.
They're just trying to get a little room away from the goal line up the middle with quarterback sneak. And
a good chance maybe for Prairie to get on the board if they can force a safety or knock the ball away here, you know. That's a big hole to overcome, 43 points, but at least you can maybe get something on the board here.
2nd and 10.
2nd and 10. And there's a handoff and stacked up. Xavier Moore with the carry.
Tackle by Nicholas Pearson, number 43. Number 30 was in there as well. Nicholas Fetters.
14-13 Centennial in that ball game with Waterloo West.
3rd and 8 for the Warriors.
Well, they're in a battle there.
Milwaukee's going to take as much time now with the running clock. They're going to take the game clock down as far as they possibly can with each snap.
And touchdown, is it? Yes.
Touchdown, Cedar Rapids Prairie.
Hunter Williams, or no, Mason Mahoney, I think.
By number 6.
Well, you had mentioned it, that if this close to the goal line, could they get a safety? Could they stop them? Could they tackle them?
They get a fumble.
Or get a fumble, and that's exactly what they did. We're going to get a look at it right here.
Here it is.
Just dropped it right on the handoff.
And that's you get new players in there, you know.
Yep.
And they're
Mason Mahoney right there on the spot, picks it up and runs it in.
So 9:18 to go. They're on the board. They set up wide here on the extra point.
Carter Griffin to attempt an extra point.
Extra point is up and
That
good.
Waukee 43, Cedar Rapids Prairie 7.
43-7. So that's where turnabout the penalties end up killing Waukee on that one. And it's Dowling 17-7 now over Johnston. And credit Johnston, they've come back and battled Dowling. They've gotten off to a little slower start, I think, than what they wanted, but it was a lot closer for quite a while there. At Centennial in a one-point battle. And see if we can get a Valley score. Waukee will go to Valley next week.
Yeah, talk about a tough schedule, and Waukee really
to open it up.
Four really tough games to open up the season against Dowling Catholic, Southeast Polk Prairie, and then Valley.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if the score this way, if they'll try it onside or they'll just kick it deep. Here we'll see. Well, I got a little lob kick over there, trying to get in the hole, and it's going to go out of bounds, but they were going to try to catch Waukee, I think, by dropping it in there, and it's just a little too far.
Try to place that ball and hustle down and get it where there was a little bit of a gap in the return team. And you have to know after last week that everybody on that front line for Waukee, they were going to have their eyes peeled, thinking onside kick.
And they probably got some new faces in there, too, because they do now, too, at quarterback, as Holcomb will come back in, and they'll have Xavier Moore in the backfield with him. As Mitch Randall's done for the night, as are Lindquist and Smith. Also, let's see, in there for Waukee, looks like Ethan Etkin at wide receiver. We'll run down the others when we get a chance for you here. And there's a handoff to Moore.
Xavier Moore, the running back, number 31. Tackle is made by number 17.
He gets stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
Loss of about 2, 2nd and 12.
It's also, well, Hayden Huntley's in there. He's been in and out tonight. And let's see. Reese Cooper looks like is in there.
Again, just a lot of standing, winding the clock down. 15 seconds now on the game clock, and they're finally stepping up to the line.
Hayden Hawksmeyer in for Waukee. And handoff, and he's going to Moore lose maybe another yard there. As the clock will continue to roll.
On yet another tackle.
So 3rd and 12, and Prairie would like to get the stop here to see if they could maybe go after the punt, see if they could get a blocked punt, but they'd like to get another score on the board.
And there's a handoff, looking for room, and he'll get maybe a yard. And that's it.
Number 31. Nicholas Pearson made that tackle. Swartz and Druber assisting.
Well, Waukee playing it pretty simple. 3 running plays.
Just keep the clock moving. The clock is continuous right now because of the 35-point differential. And we'll see, they may even take a penalty or a timeout here. They got 2 timeouts left. I imagine they'll run it down and take a timeout.
Yeah, coach is right next to the official calling timeout.
Timeout, Waukee.
And they'll do that. Well, for Waukee, something to build on here, although there are a lot of penalties and things that Coach Carlson's not going to be happy about. And for Prairie, that first loss, it's how do you come out and rebound from that, turn things around.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of teaching that's going to be able to come out of this ball game. I think for Waukee, you have to be happy with the way the offense ran tonight. It looked better. It was more in sync. However, too many penalties hurt them.
Defensively, Waukee pretty good, solid job. And Prairie had some good defensive moments there too. They put some pressure on Randall at times. Trouble is, he's so good at getting out of that and getting rid of the ball. He's a tough guy to pin down back there. And looks like
Garrett Smith, number 90, is in punt formation.
Garrett Smith will come in to punt. 6'3" junior.
Colton Forsland is deep to receive, number 19.
This is their first. Is it their first punt? Yeah,
it is.
Because they went for it
punt.
that on 4th down. And there's the punt. Rolling inside down to the 23-yard line.
And down about a 41-yard punt for Garrett Smith.
It's a 41-yarder, and that'll give the ball back to Prairie.
From the Prairie 23-yard line.
See if they play with a little urgency, maybe a little hurry up. See if they can march down the field. Looks like Valley and Cedar Rapids Kennedy tied.
Tied up still. Cedar Falls and Ankeny. There's a big run.
Nice drop pass complete to
or pass, excuse me.
44, Jake DeGroot.
To Jake DeGroot.
Halver, number 40, made the stop.
And a first down for Prairie.
Very nice touch on that pass, a little pump fake, and then lofts it over the top of the defense to DeGroot, who went right up and grabbed it and pulled it in.
First down, Hawks.
And coming outside with it, tried to turn the corner, slips a tackle, and gets up for a first down is Nicholas Pearson.
Tackle there by Chase Evanson, number 32.
And all the rankings, Valley was number 2, Kennedy was number 3, and right now they're knotted up at 14 all. So a good matchup there. And that kind of gives you an idea, too, as Valley knocked off Dowling, and now Kennedy is going toe-to-toe with Valley here. So I know it's 3 games in, but, you know.
But showing a little balance
yeah,
throughout the state.
And there's drop. Pearson dropped behind the line of scrimmage.
Number 88, Braden Menz.
As we roll down toward the final 4 minutes of this ball game. It was 20-0 at the half, and then that big third quarter for Waukee as they wind it out to 23, scoring 23 points and making it 43-0. Prairie getting on the board with that 1-yard fumble return, but there's a fake. Williams looks, throws. Oh, nice, almost a nice defensive play. Sliding in there was Dylan Bowes.
Boy, he came in from behind. He was beaten, but he made up some ground and got the hand in there to knock that pass away.
And I noticed another lefty quarterback here, Williams. We saw Daly last week for Southeast Polk slinging it from the left side there.
I think Southeast Polk was up over Iowa City West last score I saw.
Yeah. The clock continues to run. Williams, and now I think the play clock ran out, didn't it?
Penalty before the snap, offside.
Or no, offside, okay. They must have just reset that as soon as, okay. Well, Waukee is now pulled ahead in the penalty department. But
it's not one statistic that you want to win.
No.
From Milwaukee, 42.
Officials are going to have sore arms from throwing all those flags tonight. And Williams will take it himself, cuts it up inside the 40, 35, 30. He's got a lane on the outside, 20, 15, 10, and he'll run out of bounds at the 10-yard line. They'll mark him at the 11.
First time all night he's been able to get loose out of the backfield, fakes a handoff, and goes
Pearson
around
gave
in.
him a good lead down the field. But
flag again, though. Play's coming back.
Well, holding on Prairie. Okay. So Prairie evens it up in the penalty. I think, what is it, 11 apiece?
Yeah, that's way too many.
Yeah. Both these teams here tonight. And the thing is, you know, you got some new players in there on defense for Waukee, but most of those penalties came when you had the first teams in for both sides. So neither of these coaches could be happy. Prairie takes a timeout. Let's take another break here. We'll do that and be back after this on CISN.TV.
Please meet at the home grandstands for cleanup and a fundraiser for After Prom later this year.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules, they're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology.
High-quality beef doesn't have to come with a high price. High-Veet Angus Reserve. It's 100% natural, hand-selected, pure quality beef. The cuts are tender and the price is lean. We choose our beef knowing what will deliver the best flavor and most tenderness. So now,
Got a nice
going
pass
out for
from
a great
Williams
steak
to
can be
Jones.
as simple as going out to your grill. High-Veet Angus Reserve.
For
Dinner
Prairie.
out just
They'll pick
became
up about
dinner.
half of what they needed, maybe a little more. Now it's 4th and 3rd. Fourth and three. Excuse me. Penalty flag
I know
on
what you
me.
mean. Yeah, fourth and
fourth and
no penalty
fourth or
flags
third.
down. So yeah. Although we're not here as late as we were last week.
No.
With that game going down to the wire, but so 4th and 3 at the 37 for Prairie. They trail 43-7 here. Williams drops back, hands it off to Amir, and he's going to be stopped, I think, just
about
short.
a yard short.
Yep. He had a head of steam going, but somebody submarined him there, and so it'll turn over to Waukee.
Number 52, Braden Senny on the top.
And they say, let's see.
Also Jermaine Samler in on that tackle, number 36.
Braden Senny and Jermaine Samir on the tackle. That'll make the defensive coach proud to get the guys in there off the bench and make a stop.
Alex Walsh in now at quarterback for Waukee.
And they're going to let that play clock run down. It's down to 5-4. He takes a snap and hands it off up the middle.
Off to the new running back for Waukee, Jack Ibis.
A few more players in this ball game. A lot of substitutions for Waukee, but getting some of the other players that work their tails off day in and day out at practice and finally getting a little chance to see some game action.
And they're going to get about one more play here. Walsh is the quarterback. Hembry is in the backfield with him. And they're going to snap it probably with about 5 seconds to go on the 3 seconds to go. There's a difference about 3 between the snap clock and game clock, and he handed off to Hembry. And that will do it. Here's Waukee gets their first win on the season, and Prairie will take home their first loss here, 43-7, as they head out to shake hands in the center of the field.
And a decisive win by Waukee. I mean,
big
they
win
came
by
out
Waukee
right away and set the tone and scored, and that's what we talked about at the beginning of the game. What do they need to do? Jump out quick and never let up.
Came
and
out
that's
quick,
exactly.
and then they came out in the third quarter and drove down. Had the help of a penalty there, but they drove down and scored, and then just kind of stepped on the gas in the third quarter and never looked back here against Prairie. So let's take a break. We'll do that. We'll come back, and we'll take a final look at the scoring and wrap this one up here on CISN.TV.
Save thousands in Waukee. Schottenkirk Chevy, Waukee. 2019 Silverado 1500 Double Cab up to 25% off. 2019 Silverado 1500 Crew Cab, LT or RST up to 20% off MSRP. Or up to $5,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. We're in a position to give you more for your trade in Waukee. 2019 Colorado up to $7,000 off. Or $5,000 off plus 1.9% for 60 months. Or 2.9% for 72 months. These won't last. Schottenkirk Chevy, Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Back here at Waukee, Dart Danielson, Laura Leonard, and something I like seeing over there, Laura, the Prairie players down the line to the fans. Thanks for coming all the way over here to watch us. It didn't turn out quite how they wanted. They were hoping to go to 3-0 tonight, but ran into a Waukee team that played really well, got the early lead on the opening drive, and really didn't look back after that.
No, and long drive, so credit to the team and the fans for making the drive over. And you're right, it didn't turn out the way that they had anticipated, but after those 2 games that Waukee had lost to start the season, you knew they were hungry and they were ready. They were ready for a win.
Well, it started out, not the first drive, but it was off the interception by Joe Morrison, and then Waukee took it all the way down and a 14-yard run by Lindquist with 9:52 to go in the first quarter, and that made it 7-0. Then in the second quarter, 9:33 to go, Aaron Smith broke up the middle on a 38-yard run on a little bit of a counter play. Jaden again with the extra point, and it was 14-0. Then Jaden rounded out the scoring in the first half, a 27-yard and a 38-yard field goal, and we stood at 20-0 at the half. Then the third quarter was kind of the Alex Lindquist show again. They drove down. He took it in from 6 yards out, and then his biggest run of the night, a 44-yard touchdown run, that with 3:53 to go in the third, and that made it 34-0. Then on a punt, the snap went over the punter's head, and he out the back of the end zone with 2:45 to play in the third for the 2-point safety. That made it 36-0. Then Waukee came right down on that one and drove it down, and Xavier Moore took it in from 36 yards out to make it 43-0. That was the final scoring for Waukee. Then with 9:15 to play in the fourth quarter, a beautiful deep punt that rolled down to about the 2. A couple penalty took it half the distance to the 1, and then another penalty to like the half-yard line. And then Waukee fumbled it, and Mason Mahoney picked it up and ran it in for 1 yard out for the fumble return, the only score of the night for Prairie. They kicked the extra point, and that made it 43-7. So positives for Waukee. Again, we talked about it, not only downside, a lot of penalties for Waukee and Cedar Rapids Prairie here tonight.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest point of emphasis that both of these coaches are going to talk about. I think that there were several times you could go back, especially I think it was in the third quarter, where Prairie had Waukee stopped and then had a penalty on third down. They had big third down penalties that allowed the drive to continue. They had one themselves that pushed them back. They had a makeable third down, pushed them out of that range of making that third down to keep their drive alive. So penalties certainly is a big part of this loss for Prairie. And I think for Waukee, just some annoying things, some things you just have to clean up and get back on the right track. The offense looked good tonight, and they seem to roll and seem to be in sync with one another.
Another interception tonight, but that was a outstanding play by Prairie to pick that ball off. He came over on the run and looked like Randall was going to sneak it in there to Odell for touchdown, but it was picked off. And so one turnover tonight, but they got a turnover of their own there. And so they good news is you got to win. The bad news is you got to play Valley at Valley, but that Valley's in a tussle there too. So, and again, you get that confidence. Winning builds that confidence, and Waukee's shown already they play toe-to-toe with Dowling and Southeast Polk, so you get a few plays going your way. Who knows what's going to happen there at Valley Stadium next week.
Right, and I think this game will help them in that ball game and catapult them into that game next week and with a lot of confidence. I think their confidence was building even though they had a couple of losses. You can see the team has evolved over the last 3 weeks, and tonight they looked pretty good. And so, one more week of practice, they'll be ready for Valley, and I think it'll be a good matchup. That's probably going to be the big game of the week next week.
All right. Well, we appreciate everyone watching here tonight. Thanks to the camera crew, Justin at the controls here. Thanks, Laura. And the final again, Waukee 43-7 over Prairie. That's going to wrap it up here on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
You better run for your life. You were not prepared for the night. You better run for your life. You were not prepared for the night. Came here ready to fight on this night. You better just run for